Hello, my dear students. Welcome back after a long time. So today we are going to look into the specimen paper of history, that is ICSE 2024 specimen question paper. So I've already done it. So we'll go through it one by one. And so let's start without wasting our time. Okay, so ICSE 2024 examination specimen question paper. So if you want to go through the specimen question paper of last year 2023, you can get it on my channel. Okay, so that will also help you a lot. So just 2023 specimen paper, 24 specimen paper, you go through it and it will give you a lot of confidence, and it will boost up your morale to prepare for your ICSE examination, which will be held in 2024. Okay, as you all know that the paper is of 80 marks. So let's start with it. So before I start, I would like to request you to share this video to others also, so that they can also find it useful. So many videos are lying on the YouTube channels, but if this video also comes in front of them, they may recommend it to their friends also. Okay, so let's start with it. First one. So don't get confused that this is exactly the same specimen paper issued by the council. Okay. So question number one. Question number one. An ordinance is called a temporary law. Which of the following statement correctly describes the same? So options are given over here. So option number C is correct. If the parliament does not approve it within 6 weeks, it becomes inoperative. But most of the time we get confused with it is issued when the parliament is not functioning. It's wrong, my dear. Ordinance is passed, is a temporary law passed when the house is not in session. When the house is not in session, that is a term, okay? But here is say not functioning. If the parliament is not functioning at all, then no question of sessions and all. Okay, so logically the answer is C, if the parliament does not approve it. Now, given below are the details of few Indian citizens. So let us see the details. So candidates, okay, these are the details. So select the person who fulfills the eligibility criteria to become a member of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha, the upper house of the parliament. So which one it is? The option number Y. So Y. Okay, 30 belongs to the age. Age should be 30. Belong to socially and educationally backward class. So that is so 25 not possible. 35 recently declared bankrupt. That is also not the qualification, and 31 that is also not the qualification. Okay, so Y. Now let us move on to number three. The opposition feels that the ruling government does not have the majority in the Lok Sabha and wants to bring down the government. So let's see the option. Which of the following motions will the leader of opposition move? So answer is no confidence motion. Okay. Now let us move on to number four. When the Supreme Court reviews any judgment made by it to remove an error, it falls under revisory jurisdiction. Advisory, revisory, original, appellate. So it is revisory jurisdiction. Now, identify the officials who form the electoral college for the presidential election in India. So you can see here the option number B and R. So elected members of parliament and elected members of state legislative assemblies. They all are the one who form the P, that means electoral college. P and R is correct. Now, six, court of district judge, civil cases. Court of district judges looks after civil cases. Session court looks after dash cases. So obviously it is criminal cases. Okay, session court looks after criminal cases. Now let us move on to number seven. Read the two statements given below. Let us see the statement. Okay. Gandhi's civil disobedience was based on engaging in dialogue and negotiations with the British. And B, Gandhi believed that violence and aggressions are counterproductive to achieve any goal. So B and A contradict. So according to me, I'll go with B. B is the reason for A. Okay, B is the reason for A. So I'll go with option number B. Now number seven. Central government of country named X had decided to enforce a law similar to the Vernacular Press Act, which was enacted by the British in India in 1878 to control and regulate the vernacular press. Based on this information, who among the following is most likely to benefit from the encroachment? So let us see. So definitely the ruling political party will be benefited by this act. Okay. Now, next one. In 1856, the British government, British India, okay. In 1856, British East India Company justified the annexation of Awadh, a princely state in northern India, on what ground? So, misgovernment, okay, due to alleged misgovernment by Nawab of Awadh. Nawab was Ali Shah, okay. So now that means Awadh was annexed on the pretext of misgovernment. So now you can see here question number 10. You can see this picture, okay. So here to the Australian throne murdered, okay. So on the basis of this question is here, which of the following is the immediate impact of the above incident? So this is all about Sarajevo crisis. So after Sarajevo, what happened? Okay, what happened after Sarajevo crisis? So it led to the First World War. Okay, the incident mentioned over here is Sarajevo murder. Okay, the next one, identify the odd one out of the following objectives. So let us see what are the options. Okay, odd one out. So it's all about Muslim League. Yes, to promote among Muslims in India support for the British government. Correct. To remove any misconception regarding the intention of the government. Correct. To protect and advance the political rights and interests of the Muslim. That is also correct. So option number D is the odd one out here. Okay. To abolish the Zamindari system. This one is the odd one. Now, number 12. College student named Rosni is doing a project on prominent Indian leader whose core work revolved around Dalit rights. Who is Rosni mostly writing about? So let us see the options. Surendranath Banerjee, Firoz Shah Mehta, Dadabhai Naroji, and Jyotiba Phule. Okay, so option number D, that is Jyotiba Phule, is correct. The next one, number 13. Dash was caused by the renewal of civil disobedience movement. So what was renewed? What was the cause for the renewal of civil disobedience movement? So definitely failure of second roundtable conference was the cause for the renewal of a civil disobedience movement. Now 14. A non-permanent member of Security Council have the term of dash years. So obviously the answer is 2 years. Okay. Number 15. Which of the following policies of the dictator ruling over country acts is most aligned with the ideologies of Mussolini during his time or time and period? So during his time, Hitler was there, no? So both of them, both the dictators prioritize military expansion. So prioritizing military expansion. Okay, their most priority was given to the expansion of the military. So A is correct. Now number 16, which of the following scenarios describes the non-aligned policy? So let us see the options. Okay, the country maintains relation with both factions during the Cold War and does not take side. This is the correct one. Okay, country forms military alliance only with Union, so that's incorrect. Country is a part of religious movement, that is incorrect. Country alliance with Soviet Union, that is also incorrect. So option number B is correct. Okay. Okay, now let's go to question number 2. Read the given newspaper carefully. Let us see the newspaper. Okay, newspaper headline. Okay, headline: Mysuru Lok Adalat settles 53-year-old civil cases involving Canada's poet skin. This case went for total 53 years in a various courts and involved 10 advocates and 40 witnesses. So on the basis of this, state any two advantages of Lok Adalat that can be deduced from the above news headline. So definitely the first is Lok Adalat offers quick and inexpensive justice. Number 2, it works in friendly atmosphere with a spirit of compromise and understanding. So these are the two advantages. Okay. Now next one. Imagine you are a part of German military in year 1919. Mention any two terms of the Treaty of Versailles which would impact you. So definitely German army was restricted to the force of 1 lakh soldiers. Navy was limited to 15,000 men, 36 ships only. Air force was totally banned. So which would impact? Air force was totally banned. Submarines were not allowed. Okay, these were the ones which would impact if I am the member of German military. Okay, the next one. Mention any two contributions of Subhash Chandra Bose. So contribution of Subhash Chandra Bose. Yes. INA under him gave moral support to national movement. The slogan Jai Hind, Delhi Chalo, and many patriotic marches motivated the Indian youth. So many more are there. This two is enough. Okay. Now, number 4, give 2 reasons for the acceptance of Mountbatten Plan by the Congress. That means why was Mountbatten Plan accepted? So it was believed that smaller India with strong center would be more powerful than a large India with a weak federation and weaker center. And the second one, rigidity of Muslim League and the growing communal problem made partition appear as the only solution. Okay. Now, next one, mention any 2 methods of the assertive nationalist. Okay, 2 methods. So 2 methods, Swadeshi and boycott. Okay. The next one, mention any 2 objectives of the League of Nations. So this is all the states of the world were prohibited from entering into secret treaties and alliances. All states were to refer their mutual disputes to the League of Nations for the peaceful settlements. Okay, many more are there. So any two you can mention it. Now next one, name the 2 alliances formed in Europe before the beginning of the First World War. So it is Triple Alliance and Triple Entente. Okay, in Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy was there, and Triple Entente, England, France, and Russia was there. Okay, now let us move on to part 2, section A. So from this section, you have to do only 2. That means 3 questions will be given in section A, 2 we have to do. So I have done all the 3. Question number 3. Mention any 3 circumstances under which Lok Sabha can make laws on subject in the state list. 3 circumstances. So you can see number 1, during national emergency. Okay. Number 2, when if the subject is in the state list and is required for implementing an international agreement or treaty, the parliament can make laws on that subject. And the third one is if 2 or more states request the parliament that parliament should legislate on a subject in the state list, then parliament may do so. Okay, these are the 3 powers. Okay, now number 2, mention any 3 financial powers of union parliament. 3 financial powers, let us see. 3 financial powers. Okay, 3. Okay, what happened to this? Okay, 3 financial powers. The parliament passes the union budget, which consists of total income and expenditure. Number 2, parliament may ask for supplementary grant. Number 3, if the budget is not passed in the beginning of the financial year, then executive may draw funds from the consolidated fund until the budget is passed by the parliament. Okay. Now the third one, the speaker plays an important role. So many 4 functions of the speaker. So number 1, speaker presides over the business of the house. That means speaker presides over the session. Number 2, speaker maintains decorum and discipline. Number 3, all bill passed in Lok Sabha have to be signed by the speaker. Number 4, speaker decides if the bill is an ordinary bill or money bill. Okay, 4 enough. Now question number 4, mention any 3 qualifications required for a person to be nominated to the post of the president. So let us see the 4 qualifications. Simple. Must be 35 years of age, must be qualified to be a member of Lok Sabha, must not hold office of profit, must not be a proclaimed criminal. So any all these things you can mention it. Now mention any 3 discretionary power of the president. 3. So you can see 3. If no party gets clear majority, that time president can invite the leader of the party. Number 2, he can withhold assent to bill when it comes to him for the first time. And the third one, when the prime minister has lost confidence in the Lok Sabha and asks the dissolution of the house, the president is bound to act on the advice of the prime minister. So these are the 3 discretionary powers of the president of India. Now describe the procedure of impeachment. So let us see the procedure. Simple. First of all, the resolution may originate in any house, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Then a 14 days notice signed by at least 1/4 of the total members. Total number of members of house is required. Then it must be passed by the majority of not less than 2/3. Okay, 2/3. Then the third one, same procedure is to be adopted in other house. If passed by majority, the president stands in peace. Okay. Now, next question number 5. Who appoints the judges of Supreme Court? So let us see. Judges of Supreme Court are appointed by the President of India. And the second one is Okay. The next one is mention any two qualifications required for the person to be appointed as the president. Simple, remember. Person must be a citizen of India. That is the first one. Second one is he should be at least he must have an experience of 5 years as a judge or 10 years as an advocate, or in the eyes of the president must be a distinguished jurist. Okay. So if you mention this one and this one is enough. Okay. The next one, explain the term original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court with any two examples. So let us see. Okay. What is mean by original jurisdiction? The cases which comes to Supreme Court at the first instance. Okay. And examples, if there is a dispute between the government of India on one side and on the other side one or two states, or dispute between government of India and one or more states on one side and one or more states on the other side. So these are the disputes which can fall directly under the original jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Okay. Now name any four writs issued by the Supreme Court. Simple. Name of the writs you have to mention. Don't waste your time by explaining everything. So these are the names of the writs: writ of habeas corpus, writ of mandamus, writ of prohibition, writ of certiorari. Okay. Now let us move on to section B. Let us move on to section B. Attempt any three questions from this section. Question number 6. Mention any three administrative changes made in India as a consequences of the revolt. So administrative changes. So first of all, East India Company's rule came to an end, and India now was administered directly by the British Crown. The second one, Indian Council under Secretary of State and 15 members of cabinet was created to supervise the Indian administration. Administration in India was headed by Viceroy. So on the top, Queen, British Crown, then below her or him, Secretary of State of India, and then on the third row, it was the Viceroy. Okay. Crown, Secretary of State of India, and the Viceroy. And the Secretary of State was assisted by 15 members. How did the failure of revolt impact the Mughals and the Peshwas? So what happened to the Peshwas here? Very simple. That means, as you know, that Peshwa took active part in the revolt. Later on, he fled away to Nepal, and the office of Peshwa was abolished. Office of the Peshwa was abolished, and then the title of Mughal emperor was abolished following the death of Bahadur Shah II. What was the impact? He was deported to Rangoon, and after his death, what happened? The Mughal emperor was abolished. That means title Badshah, Mughal Samrajya, Mughal Badshah, all this was abolished. Okay. So that means who was the last Mughal emperor? Bahadur Shah II. Bahadur Shah Zafar. Mention any four changes made in the army after the revolt. So four changes. Number of British troops to Indian soldiers were increased. Artillery and other effective weapons were exclusively placed under European hands. All important and high posts in the army were reserved for the British. Indian soldiers belonging in different caste, class, and religion were mixed up to destroy unity. Simple. Okay. Now, question number 7. Name the founder of Indian National Congress. Name the founder of Indian National Congress. Mention any two of its objectives. Let us see. Allen Octavian Hume was the founder. Two objectives: to promote friendly relation and to formulate popular demands. Okay. Number 2. How did the press contribute to the growth of nationalism? So definitely press played a very important role. Okay. Press became the main instrument through which nationalist Indians spread the message of patriotism. This was the medium. Okay. Nationalist newspapers criticized the policies of the government, and they presented their Indian opinion and interest. Press as the Indians to unite. The press as the Indians to unite and work for national welfare. Okay. Press helped the Indians to unite and work for national welfare. It popularized the idea of self-government. Okay. The newspapers and journals enabled the nationalist workers living in different parts of the country to exchange views with one another. So this is the role of the press. Okay. Now, mention any four repressive policies of Lord Lytton. So see here, four repressive policies. First one, Delhi Darbar was held in 1877. Okay, when the whole country. That means, let us say the whole South India was suffering from terrible famine. Second one, 1870 Arms Act was passed. 1878 Vernacular Press Act was passed. Okay, and 1878 again the government announced the age limit for civil services were reduced from 21 years to 19 years. So these were the repressive policies of Lord Lytton. So according to 1878 Arms Act, Indians could not keep arms without a license, whereas English can keep. Vernacular Press Act, were not allowed to write anything against the government. That means they were prohibited from writing anything against the government. Okay, and the last one, the civil service examination was conducted. Okay, but the age limit was reduced from 21 to 19. Got it? Now, next one, question number 8. Who was the viceroy who negotiated with Gandhiji? Name any two causes of the movement being discussed above. Let us see. Okay. Lord Irwin negotiated with Gandhiji. Okay, here there is one paragraph. Okay, this is the one. Okay. So, first of all, we have to read it. Read the expert given below. Just a minute. Yeah, given below and answer the questions that follows. After reading it, we have to answer it. Who was the viceroy? The answer is Lord Irwin was the viceroy. Name the two causes of the movement. So the first cause is the British monopoly over production of salt law. Second one is Simon Commission. And the third one, Purna Swaraj. So these were the three causes. Okay, two causes you can mention it. That means British monopoly over the production and sale of salt was seen as a stark example of their exploitative economic policies. Number two, Simon Commission sent to India in 1928 to recommend constitutional reforms was boycotted and widely criticized by Indians for all British composition. Okay, and the third one, Indian National Congress Declaration of Purna Swaraj or total self-rule on 26 January 1930 was the critical precursor to the civil disobedience movement. Okay, so any two you can write it from here. Okay, now next one, mention any three impacts of this movement. That means impacts of civil disobedience. So accordingly here nothing is mentioned about which movement we are talking about. So you have to go through it properly. Okay, so you have to go through it. Then only you can understand this is all about civil disobedience movement. Now, as a consequence of this meeting, okay, mention any three impacts of the movement. The movement was successful in creating a sense of distrust among the Indian people towards the British government. Number two, movement inspired many Indians. Number three, movement helped to deepen the social roots. So all these are the impacts of the civil disobedience movement. Now, as a consequence of this meeting, a pact was signed. So what was the pact all about? So it was Gandhi-Irwin Pact, right? Mention four. Pact was signed. A Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed. Mention four conditions that the British government agreed to according to this pact. So number one, Indian National Congress agreed to participate in second roundtable conference. Congress would call off the civil disobedience movement. All ordinances that curb the activities of the Congress were to be withdrawn. And the last one, all political prisoners who were not convicted of violent crimes were to be released immediately. Finished. Now, number 9, identify the leaders in the above picture. Okay. So, let us see the picture. Okay. So, this is the picture. So, obviously, Hitler. Identify the leader in the above picture. Mention any two of his ideologies. So, see here. The leader in the above picture is Adolf Hitler. Two of his ideologies are to root out communalism and liberalism, and number two, to cross all sorts of party formation and the opposition. Okay. Now, mention any three causes of his rise to power. So, three causes. See here. That means these are the three causes you have to mention. That is, after the abdication of Kaiser William II and the defeat in the First World War, Democratic Republic was set up in Germany, which was known as Weimar Republic. Okay, and Weimar Republic failed to fulfill the demands of the people, or we can say that Weimar Republic went and signed the Treaty of Versailles, which was a humiliating treaty. So Weimar Republic was discredited for signing the humiliating Treaty of Versailles. Okay, so it is mentioned people were also upset with Weimar Republic. It had signed a humiliating Treaty of Versailles, and they wanted to re-establish the old prestige. They wanted to regain back their old glory. Okay, and the second one, First World War. In the First World War, many soldiers were unemployed. That means economic problems has grown high, and the government failed to address their problems. Okay, the next one, there were many political parties in Germany, and these political parties they quarreled among each other, and the parliamentary system became very, very weak, and people lost faith from the parliamentary system of government. Okay, so all these causes gave rise to Hitler. What was the immediate cause? What was the immediate cause of Second World War? Mention any three reasons given by this leader to justify his action. Now, first, invasion over Poland. Okay. Immediate cause of the Second World War was invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany on September 1st, 1939, and the subsequent declaration of war on Germany made by Britain and France. So, mention any three reasons. So, I think according to me, he wanted to reverse the treaty's terms and regain Germany's lost territories. Number two, he wanted to expand Germany's borders eastward into Poland and the Soviet Union to create more living space for Germans. And the third one, Hitler was an anti-Semitic and believed that Jews were responsible for many of the Germans' problems. So he wanted to rid Germany of Jews and they're undesirable. So according to me, so your answers can be different. Okay. Now number 10. What is the composition of International Court of Justice? So very simple. It consists of 12 judges. Okay. They are elected by the General Assembly and their term is 9 years. There cannot be two judges from the same country, and every 3 years, one third of the judges retire. Okay. Now the court elects its own president and vice president for the term of 3 years. Okay. Now next one, mention any three functions of the Security Council. Simple: to maintain international peace, to investigate disputes, to try and seek peaceful solutions, to even ask members to use economic sanctions. Okay. And the last but not the least, give the full form of UNICEF. So United Nations Children's Funds. Earlier, we used to read United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. So both are correct. So you can mention it United Nations Children's Fund. Okay. And the three functions of UNICEF is to assist countries in providing nutritious food and to train nutritionists in this regard, to take care of women and children, and number three, to provide funds for the training and sanitation workers, to undertake universal child immunization against preventable. Okay, so we have come to the end of the specimen paper. So hope this specimen paper might have helped you a lot. So if yes, then please do comment and share it so that it will reach to the unreached. Okay, thank you very much for watching and all the best for your board exams 2024. All the best. Take care. Bye bye.